Woo, I've done like 15 takes on this thing. I get about 4 or 5 minutes into the video and then don't like it and shut it off. So I'm gonna try to stay on track, try to stay on focus. Stacy says I need to start saying this every time. Hey, you guys like the videos, share the videos because it makes the page grow. I personally, my fans, I got the greatest fucking fans anybody could ever ask for. And I really don't care one way or the other if people that, I mean, don't get me wrong, my haters are great. They really are, because they're idiots and they honestly do more for the page when they go everywhere and they're sharing videos trying to get everybody else to hate on me. So, hey, thanks, haters. But the page does serve a purpose, and one, it keeps my fans updated. Two, the people that do help us out with these cars and this stuff, it gives me a chance for you guys to see their stuff and me do little videos on the people that support us. And it's to keep my fans updated. So share the video. All of my fans, share the video. Share it to places that you don't even go to, because that gives the haters a purpose in life. So one thing that made the page grow really big was for my fans, two things. One, after a while, I didn't watch the show. I never watched the show because it wasn't about being on TV. It was about trying to win. Trying to be number one on that list. So for the first 3 or 4 seasons, I never fell out of the top 5. Of course, nobody remembers that. And I get it, guys. I truly do. Everybody only remembers last Monday night. That's fine. So when I started going on telling the backstory, because I'd go somewhere, and when I'm meeting people, they're going, man, you're nothing like you are on TV. Any of my fans that's been on this page, we got about 500,000 people between the social media, on all our social media stuff. My fans actually know I'm the same fucking asshole every day, no matter what. So it started bothering me, and that's when I went back and watched the shows, and my fans all remember when I did the video. Now I'm gonna start telling the backstory. That made the page grow a lot. The second thing that blew this page up was when I told my life story. Now, the funny thing is, and it was funny because somebody told me the other day, which is, I'm not going to say his name, but he's a longtime racer, very, very famous guy that has done things for this sport that people will never even, today's generation will never know who he is and the significance he made to motorsports and racing all the way across the board. But he told me, he goes, yeah, I had one of the guys come on and was saying that, yeah, he's a druggie and blah, 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 and I'll never buy your product again. Well, here's what's funny about that. I can pass a piss test better than any of those people making a comment. But you know what? Once again, people only remember because it's just like the paint video. That was a huge fucking joke that nobody watched enough of the video to understand and catch it. 14 cans of tuna. That was a fucking rip video that actually has hit 6-7 million multiple times, because when Discovery would ban it or get it shut down, I just repost it. So, and here's the thing, guys. For years, everybody was still asking, still Elm Street Outlaws? I mean, I know the attention span of people, mine's the same way. I got a 2-minute attention span. But some people can't even make it that far. But those videos, the funny thing is they hear the first part of it, the first clip, and then they miss everything else. So this is all the stuff that I figured out about social media after that video, because that video, the 14 cans of tuna video, was fucking hilarious. The paint video was hilarious. I've actually done a few of those, but since I don't laugh and joke around and all that shit very much, everybody believes it. So that's the funny thing about social media. Social media, I like interacting with my fans. I like the people that stand up for me, and it does when somebody comes on the page running their pie hole, because what happens is when one of the videos go really big, that's because you guys have shared it, and then they've shared it, and then they've shared it. And when it goes really big, you guys watch. When a video starts going really big, you'll see that people come on and start running their mouth about me. Everybody said, there's a lot of people that said, don't tell them. But here's the truth, guys. My fans know this, and hopefully they share this video and all the haters hear this. You guys are never going to affect me because I don't go on social media. I don't. I go to my page. I use the internet to order parts and look at shit for sale. That's it. I don't go on any form. Ryan is one of my best friends. I've never been to his page. I don't go to Sean's page. I don't go to anybody's page. That's the funny thing about it. A lot of haters and a lot of people want to be relevant for however long that they possibly can, and they want people to engage them. We have a very, very simple policy. Let me back up for a second. Sean Ellington told me when I first started my page, when you make a post, don't read the comments, just let it go. And for 2 years, somebody'd make a comment, oh, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, motherfucker, where are you at? Here's the truth of the matter. All the guys that run their hole on the internet, they're not real men anyway. They're a bunch of pussies that sit in their mama's basement. Hell, I can't even talk. They're in their mama's basement pulling their pud to porn or to Reaper videos because they got a man crush. They're not relevant. They'll never come up and say anything to my face. I have met hundreds of thousands of fans and MPK and all that shit. And I know how many fans I have. I've met way more people than that. So some of those people are haters. But here's the funny thing. So they say, oh, man, you're my biggest fan, blah, 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 blah. Even though they don't. And they call me Reaper. When they call me Reaper, I know they don't follow my page and they're not a fan. That's the easiest way I can tell. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't care one way or the other. I'll sign your autograph. Hey, you support the show, and that's great. There was a, before Dave was having some technical difficulties, but when we were all laughing, joking, shooting shit, busting on each other before that video, Sean had told me, he goes, guys are coming on going, why'd you bring Reaper back? And Sean told him, because he is fucking 405. There is a thing that everybody thinks that I hate on the 405. And that's absolutely the furthest thing from the truth. You guys have never heard me say anything negative about Sean Ellington, Ryan Martin, Dominator. You've only heard me say about one person. And that was the one person. And see, I'm not even going to say the name right now because it doesn't matter. A lot of people are saying, why'd you guys do this? And why'd you guys do that? Let me tell you something, guys. We all create our own situations. We all act or react to the situation, and we make our own beds, and then we got to sleep in them. So anybody that thinks that there's a conspiracy created by the man to keep a brother down, well, you're just fucking stupid. That's the problem. And most people are stupid. I like to think that I got the more intelligent fans out there that follow everything that I do, and I love them for it. Because they'll actually watch the video to see what the punchline is if it starts out as a joke. They'll actually watch the videos because they want to know what I'm doing. And those are the people that are important to me. Haters? Hey, I want you to hate on me. I want you to hate me. I want you, well, let me use reverse psychology. Hate on me, but don't tell nobody. Don't post nothing on the internet about me. Please don't. Reverse psychology, because I love it when they do it. When they do it, there's a jump in the page every time. The beneficial part, other than interacting with my fans, is the people that do help me with this stuff, and friends of mine, like Tim Fayette Roadrunner, and I mean, there's a huge list of them. There are people that I built relationships with. Sergio at Pro Charger, Jim at Precision Turbo, JC at ATI, Marty Chance, one of my best friends at Chance Converters. All those people that, Brad at Precision Shifter, and Doug at Holly. And I mean, guys, the list goes on and on and on. But, I talk to these people all the time. They're actually friends of mine. So the page, when the page goes big and the videos go big and I have the opportunity to promote something for them, that's a great and wonderful thing because it helps me feel good about helping them as much as they've helped us. Other than that, I can stay with the fans I have. I really don't care. I like my fans because they support me in whatever I do, and they stand up for me, and I appreciate that. But for people to think, and my fans come on when I do one of these hater videos and say, oh man, don't let them get to you. Guys, come on. One, you've seen my wife. Most of you have seen my house. A lot of you have seen all the cars. I own 30-something fucking cars. I got 5 shops full of shit. No, I'm not bragging, but I'm just going to put something in perspective here for everybody. I mean, let's just take a dance around the shop real quick. So, Stacy's car, another deal, Corvette. There's a whole nother 4,000 feet, and there's shit back there, and, you know, the Monty Smith car, blah, 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 blah. I got 3 fucking Harleys. I've got a lot of shit that I'm trying to get rid of right now because that's exactly what it is. There's a lot of shit that I don't like keeping up with. I'm not bragging. My point is, how do you think that somebody that's running their mouth about me on the internet, hating on me, how is that going to change my life? I'm not going to curl up in a ball. Oh, I'm going to say something bad about me. I don't give a fuck, guys. Haters are good. Hate on me all you want. I don't care. One, I'll never see your comment because, and if you come on the page comment, I mean, the people that this page belongs to them, they police it really well. And if not, you know, Stacy reads them every day. Sometimes there'll be 3, 4, 5 days that I get bored and get up at, well, actually, since surgery and shit, I'm actually sleeping 5, 6 hours a night. But I'll get up and I'll read some of the comments. And Stacy will point out the really good comments. But how is somebody getting on the internet and hating on me, talking about one foot reaper back, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I have a great life. I have a beautiful wife. I have an awesome fucking grandson that's everything in the world to me. You know, when Ryan and Sean wanted me to come back and I said, hey, let's do the streetcar thing, that would be fucking fantastic. And we're seeing it. We're seeing the fucking people coming back to the show and people watching the show. And there's got to be somebody to hate on, and I will be your Huckleberry. I don't care. I was never going to take the Nova. I was going to take the Grand National. 440-inch LS, twin turbos. But it happened so fast that I wasn't going to get the Grand National done. And Ryan and Sean came to me and said, man, what's wrong with the Nova? I said, no, I just put another motor in it. I said, I just haven't ran it, but no, it's great. No, actually, that's not true. It was running fine, but the oil pressure was acting a little funny in the motor that was in it. And I said, you know, I need to check the bearings, see if the oil pump, something's happened to it or something. It's a little low on oil pressure. And when I pulled the motor out of it, and it had a rear main leak. To check that, found out they had 3 mains that were starting to turn in it because that block was wore out. You guys have no idea. I've had that block for 20-something years, and it's always been a running motor, different strokes and cranks, but the poor block was just wore out. So I bought a motor, and I shoved that motor in the car that I knew nothing about, but it had bigger cylinder heads on it. It was 406, and that son of a bitch made more power than anything I've ever had in a street car. And I found out why when it knocked some rods out of it. Knocked the rods out, my fault. Oil pump drive came up out of the intake, and when I'm sitting there letting it run and tuning the idle and all that shit and the acceleration, I didn't notice it's just pumping oil. It's not hitting the floor, it's pumping oil in the bottom of the intake because the intake had a real deep valley Super Victor. And it started the bottom end of the motor, and when I went out there beating on it and testing on it, and it hauled ass, but it loosened some rods up. So that all went down right 2 days before the show started. So I'm like, now those that have known, that Blue Nova got kicked out of the daily driver race because nobody would have outran that car. That car up until this season, has never, in a legitimate fucking street race, not me just fucking around with a friend of mine or something like that, giving them a huge advantage to anyway, nobody has actually from a dead stop any way, shape, form, or fashion ever outran that Nova until I brought it on the show. And I fucked up and I brought it when it wasn't ready. It was leaking oil. The oil leak started on the drive over there. I was nervous about it because when I changed the motor, it changed all the characteristics of the car. But it was good for me to bring that car back because I've street raced that car I've had that car for 16, 17 years. And like when we took it to the daily driver races at MPK, we half-tracked everybody. Every fucking body literally got 3, 4 fucking cars put on them. On a 275/60 tire, which that car run 980s that way. I could drive it to the racetrack on pump gas, run 980s on a 400 tread wear tire, and drive it back home. To the point that when it was mentioned that nobody was ever going to outrun me, then all of a sudden they quit paying $5,000 to win and let everybody enter instead of just the MPK drivers. I said, fuck this. I took the car back home. So it's been a pretty controversial car. And when Sean and as a matter of fact, I called Dave and said, hey, Dave, so they're on me about bringing the Nova. I said, how much shit you going to try to start over that? And he goes, you're on our team. I said, dude, I've always been on our fucking team. He goes, well, yeah, bring the Nova. He said, it'd be great. So the Nova wasn't ready. The backstory deals I haven't done on this because I ain't even had fucking time to watch them. Stacy showed me some clips of it. The backstory of Stacy's car is that car, when the motor went down in the Nova, I had to come down. It was at my shop at the house. Had to haul ass down here. Had to put the transmission in the car. Had to change it over because we took the manual valve body out. Had to put a Terminator X on it. Had to wire it. Had to wire the transmission. Had to do a bunch of work on that car that I had literally 2 days to do the work and test the car to be at race night. And the car was running good, but on the drive over there, I'm tuning it between 2,500 and 5,000. And when I did that, I fucked the fuel map up so bad down low that the car wouldn't fucking take any throttle. So it backfired, blew the exhaust off, which sucked. But, it did give haters something to hate about. Then when I brought I sat there in the parking lot, fixed the lower part of the fuel map, and when I drove the car, I passed Dave on the highway at about, 130, 140, just clicked it into overdrive, because that car actually makes over 900 at the tire, Stacy's car. And Dave sends me a text, he goes, holy shit, that ain't even the same car. I said, yeah, I finally fixed the tune-up. So I planned on bringing it back, because we would race, then we have 2 days, then we'd race. So it was like Wednesday, no. Sometimes we did and sometimes we didn't. It was like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And then sometimes it was Friday, Sunday. Anyway, had very little time off. So in the time that I had, I took the motors to the Nova over to Henson. He said, they're fucked. Neither one of these blocks are going to fucking be buildable again. So we ordered 2 new blocks. I haul ass over to Shawnee, to my friend, jerk the 440-inch LS motor out, go to shove it in the Nova, and then I have to redo all of the shit to make it work with a fucking LS. So in the meantime, I take Stacy's car, I throw a shit ton of weight in the back of it, and I take the car out there on a 28 10.5 on an 18 rim. I get the car where it is fucking working, because believe it or not, I'm really good at making one of these fucking cars leave on the street. Nobody's ever left on that fucking Nova. I know what you guys seen. I was super slow on the light, and the car didn't go out there and knock the tire off, just like I told him in the driver's meeting earlier, that's exactly what it was going to do because I had no test time. But anyway, Stacy's car was running fucking phenomenal, and I'm like, this car's going to fucking hurt everybody's feelings, because it was running as good as my Chevy too. And then I broke the transmission, the drive shaft, and destroyed everything in the car. That was on race night. So I actually had the car on the trailer from picking it up off the side of the road, and went and drove to race night. That's the one I didn't make nothing on. So while I'm doing this shit with the Chevy 2, trying to get the motor in it, trying to get it to fire, of course, I always had a blow-through sniper on that deal. So all of a sudden, I had to put a fucking Dominator on it to run the LS motor. I mean, there was a lot of shit that I had to change, and I didn't have no time to do it. So I'm working on that thing, 17, 18 hours a day. but I still got to be at race night with something. So my truck, take the silver truck. That truck, you guys see me take it on Rocky Mountain Race Week. The truck's been, 10 O's. Truck's really fucking fast, but I hadn't even drove it. It had actually been at Ryan's. Shit. I don't know. I mean, we get busy and we have no sense of time, but it had been at Ryan's for a while because I actually heard a valve in it. Ryan fixed it for me because you guys know Ryan's the one that done that truck. And it was over his shop. I wasn't in a hurry for it until all of a sudden I needed it for race night. So, I mean, he jumps up and they finished the tune-up on the truck and all that shit. And he said, hey, the part throttle fucking sucks and all that, but I think you can race it. So, it wasn't ready. But, the truck actually tried to leave it on the trans brake and it fucking blasted the fucking tire, and I fucking pedaled it, short shifted it, and but the truck ran all the way down through there. The truck at a racetrack at Rocky Mountain Race Week ran 10 O's. On the street, I mean, if the truck was lined out and working like it normally works on the street, and I hadn't tried, it's a 10-second truck, even on the street. But the fact that it got outran by a fucking 10-second car, I mean, come on, guys. That's a 5,000-pound fucking pickup with cold air. That truck's all fucking, it's got 28,000 actual miles on it, 26,000 miles. And I drive it around town all the time when it's not at Ryan's. We've never finished the truck. We've never final tuned that truck, ever. Now I switched it all over to a Dominator, so here we go with a whole nother deal. We're just fixing to go out to Brian Macy, and Brian Macy and Kelby are going to finish wiring it up and get the truck dialed in. So then we're at the Nova point. Okay, so I got to get the fucking Nova done, and I finally get it fired up, and I get it fired up because I was having a crank. I was trying to use factory crank sensor, couldn't get it to work. Bolts are different, everything's different. Take the car out and drive it, and I'm thinking, this thing's a fucking slug. It just doesn't. As soon as I stab the throttle, the car that leaves on fucking water, works great on the street, rips the fucking tire off of it, and I'm like, I'm fucked. So I just took it. Now, that updates you to where we're at. The guy actually, he rolled forward. I got the race. I hate taking a race like that, but, that was something normally because I knew what I did wrong, and I knew how to fix the car, and there was no fucking way he would have outran me the second time. But that's where I let my pride step down, and I did what was good for the team. We needed that win. So if I'd have went out there and stepped on my dick, which you guys know that's happened more times than I can count. If I'd let my pride get in the way, that's not what I came back for. I came back to be a part of a team, which, by the way, is a killer fucking team. So now you guys get to see where the car actually got lined out, and how it did it do as well as I wanted it to? No. But that season was everything. That's right, you guys. I stay showing a picture where my fucking hair is all fucking fried out, and I didn't even realize that. It fucking looked scraggly and rough. But it's because I'm working fucking 18 hours a day just trying to get something done to be able to be there and be a part of what these guys wanted me to, what Sean and Ryan wanted me to come back to. So, I don't even know which way this video went. I guess it went a bunch of different ways. Talk about some haters, talk about this, talk about that. If you made it this far in the video, that's a miracle because it's 24 minutes long, which I try to keep these between 10 and 15 minutes. So, there's some updates and all the bullshit, blah, 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 blah. I'm going back to work on the Monty Smith car. I'm going to talk real fast so we can end this video before 25 minutes, which gives me, it's at 15 seconds. 24:18. Okay, so guys, hate, love, don't care, like the page, share the videos. Share the videos, share the videos. Stacy wants to blow the fucking page up. And hell, let's give the haters in the world something else to hate on. All right, I'm going to end this, and I'm going to get back to work. Sometime today, we're going to give some shit away live on the supporter page. We're out.